Okay, we are going to look at equations in slope-intercept form tonight, and equations that are in slope-intercept form are special because we can find the slope and the intercept from them, and we can use that to graph them or find, intercepts and slopes and all sorts of stuff. So we need to be able to recognize, first of all, what slope-intercept form looks like. So this is an example of slope-intercept form. You'll see that my pin's a little off. You'll see that the y is on one side all by itself. Okay, and then on the other side we have our x and a constant. So we might have y equals 3x plus 4. So all by itself, y on one side, I have an x on this side, and then I have a constant on this side. So that's what I want to look for whenever I'm identifying what slope-intercept form looks like, or if an equation is in slope-intercept form. Now, the nice thing about this is then I can use my equation to find m, which is slope, and b, which is my y-intercept. So if I had y equals 3x plus 7, this coefficient of x right here is my slope, and this is my b, or my y-intercept. So my slope would be 3, and my y-intercept would be 7. So I can pick that right out of the equation, as long as the equation is in slope-intercept form. So what we're going to look at here is actually, if I have an equation like this, 2x plus y equals negative 7, is it in slope-intercept form? So if I draw my line here just to kind of chop it in half, do I have y on one side by itself? And the answer is no, because I have this 2x over here. So I want to get y by itself, so I have to get rid of that negative 2x. And to get rid of things in equation, we always do the opposite. So the opposite of 2x would be subtracting 2x. And if I subtract 2x from one side, I have to subtract 2x from the other side. Now this is very similar to when we were solving equations and we had variables on both sides, and we had to move an entire term. So you add or subtract depending on what the opposite is, and then do it to the other side. So then it will eliminate here, and I'll have y equals. And I want my x variable to be first, so I'm going to go ahead and write that down first, and then bring this negative 7 down. Now I can't combine those. Those aren't like terms. One of them is an x, and one of them is a constant, so I can't combine them. That's all I can do. So if I wanted to identify my slope then would be negative 2, and my intercept would be negative 7. Okay, this one, again, let's kind of divide this in half, and I can see that now I've got 3 terms over here on this side. 1, 2, 3, and I don't want 3 terms over there. I just want the y. So the first thing I'm going to get rid of is this constant, and it's a plus 2, so I'm going to minus 2 to both sides. 5x minus 2y equals negative 2. Now I've got to get rid of the x, so I'm going to subtract 5x from both sides. Don't forget about this negative right here. That stays with that 2. You got to make sure you keep it. Then I'm going to have my x first, negative 5x, and minus 2. Now I'm almost done, but I don't have y by itself because I have that negative 2 in front. Now, in order to get rid of that, I'm going to divide because it's being multiplied by the y now, and I don't want to move the whole term, just the 2, or the negative 2. So I'm going to divide by negative 2. If I divide this side by negative 2, I have to divide this side by negative 2. And we actually do that by dividing each of those terms by that negative 2. Now, this won't actually divide into it, but I can simplify it. The 2 negatives make a positive. And I can just leave my fraction like that because remember that represents slope, and we don't mind if slope is a fraction. It just tells us what our rise and our run is. But this one, negative 2 over negative 2, is just a positive 1. So I end up with plus 1. So my slope, if I were trying to find that, my slope would just be this 5/2, and my intercept then would be a plus 1. All right. Why don't you try this one if you'll pause the video and see if you can get this one in slope-intercept form, and then I'll do it for you. All right, so I'm going to have to get rid of this negative 3x because it's over here with my y. It's already negative, so I'm going to add it because I want to do the opposite. 3y then equals 3x plus 6. Now I have a 3 over here with my y, so I want to divide, and I'm going to go ahead and do that over here as well. Y equals, now this one does simplify. 3 over 3 is just 1, so I have 1x. And then 6 divided by 3 is 2. So y equals 1x plus 2. My slope would be 1, and my intercept would be 2. You don't have to have that 1 there. If you write it like this, that's correct as well. We just took off that 1, that coefficient of x. We don't have to have that. All right, here's another one for you to try. So pause the video and give this one a shot. All right, so here's my y. So I have to get rid of this x here, and I got to get rid of this 2. I'm going to start with the x term. So I'm going to add 7x to both sides. So that eliminates itself, and I have 7x plus 7. Then I have to divide by 2, and y equals 7 halves x, because that doesn't simplify, and neither does that. So I'm just going to leave it. I could divide it and get an improper, that is an improper fraction. I could divide it and get a mixed number or decimal, but I really don't want to mess with decimals or mixed numbers in an equation. I'm perfectly fine with it being improper. So if I wanted to find my slope, then it would be 7 halves, and my intercept would also be 7 halves. Okay. This one looks a little different because I have an x on one side and a y on one side. And I don't have any constant to deal with, but that's all right. I'm going to start then just by dividing this by 3 because I don't have any other term over there to add. So I have to divide them both by 3. So I end up with y equals 4/3 x. And this is in slope-intercept form. It looks a little different. It looks like maybe it's backwards. But remember, in order to have slope-intercept form, we just have to have y by itself on one side. And I have that, y all by itself on one side. And then over here, I have my x term plus a constant. And I do have a constant term there. If I wanted to flip this around, the constant term is actually 0. Right? We don't write 0 because we don't really need it there, but it is there. So if I were going to try and find my slope and my intercept here, my slope would be 4/3 and my intercept would be 0 because that's what my constant is. It's actually a 0. All right, and that's it. That's how we find slope from an equation.